Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak. This is the third episode of our program on Islamophobia, or I should switch to say anti-Muslim hate. Do you know why, or do you want to know why? Please go watch the first two episodes. Anti-Muslim hate, we say that is real. It does exist, and it has a real impact that caused or claimed the life of 11 Canadian Muslim citizens, innocent souls, because of anti-Muslim hate. And it exists mainly in Ontario and Quebec because the majority of the Muslim population resides in Ontario and Quebec. The Muslim population is growing throughout Canada. In the 2021 census, we were told, based on the census, that the Muslim population is now 4.9% of the entire Canadian population. So I think the number is getting close to 2 million across Canada, but the majority in Quebec and in Ontario. Today's episode, we will be focusing on why does anti-Muslim hate exist? It's real. We talked about the definition. We talked about the outcomes, the consequences. We talked about the number of deaths. And now we know that it's real. Why does it exist? According to the Canadian Encyclopedia, some of the sources of Islamophobia include fear of the influence of Islam on Canadian society, in particular as a result of immigration. So the Muslim immigration, the increase of the number of the increase of the Muslim population, whether by immigration or even by birth rate. MashaAllah, our production is quite high. So that's causing unease or fear to some members of the society that by the growth of this population, Islam will influence the Canadian society. So basically, some people see that Islam will have a negative influence on Canadian society. They didn't say negative, but if you fear an influence, that means you're fearing a negative influence on the Canadian society. But they didn't describe what influence. I mean, the one that we hear the most is Sharia law. And we all know that this term is misused and misunderstood, thinking Sharia law is a dictatorship law, Sharia law is a barbaric law. And we've heard that term, barbaric, the barbaric actions or barbaric behavior or barbaric values before. So believing that Islam is a negative influence in Canadian society is going to bring to Canada barbaric manners, barbaric values, barbaric behaviors, barbaric actions, negative actions. This is the common understanding, unfortunately, of Islam. We as Muslims, we know that this is not true, but we'll talk about how did it come to be in a bit. The second reason that fuels anti-Muslim hate, the perception of a regression in women's rights. So again, there are false information spreading that Islam mistreats women, and women's rights will be we'll see a regression in women's rights if amongst the Muslim community members or in Muslim communities, which will spill over to the Canadian society. Another misconception, we know that this is very false. We have a lot of proofs. I'm not going to talk about them today, but we have a lot of proofs about the status of women in Islam. Islam was the first religion to give women the right to property, the right to vote, the right to business, to own land, to a lot of things, the right to inheritance, all started in Islam. So we all know that these are false allegations against Islam and Muslims, but unfortunately they're widely spread. And the perception of religious values that incite violence. So here also another famous misconception that our values are intolerant as Muslims. We reject others and it incites violence. So our goal on earth is to eliminate everybody. This is how people make it look like. But we all know that it's false. We all know that it's not true. Islam promotes tolerance. Islam promotes coexistence. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in a very clear verse in the Holy Quran, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala لا ينهاكم عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not prevent you or order you not to be kind and be fair, be just, and have a proper relationship in terms of coexistence, tolerance, kindness, assistance, you name it. The best social relationship with your surroundings, with the people that did not fight your religion, did not attack your religion, force you into leaving your religion, maybe that's more clear, or drove you out of your homes. And in Canada, as citizens, we have the right to worship, constitutional right for freedom of religion, and people respect other people's religions. Yeah, we're talking about Islamophobia, and some people have a problem, but this is not widely spread in Canadian society. As Canadian citizens, we have the right to follow our religion and right to worship. We have masajid everywhere. So in general, no, we have the right for religion. It's protected by Constitution, and it's respected by the majority, even if there are some people that have a problem with it. But it's respected by the majority, and they did not drive us out of our homes. This is our home. Canada is our home. So we are living in our home and we're enjoying this. So based on this arrangement, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourages us to deal with people in the best of manners. He orders us to deal with people in the best of manners. Respect, kindness, coexistence, tolerance, assistance. We need to also, we're part of the society. Whatever we need to do to assist and help in the growth and the prosperity of society, we have to be there. So this is our duty as citizens, our duty as Muslims. This is a covenant between us and our fellow Canadians as per the Holy Quran. So this refutes the point that our religious values incite violence. It's not true. Simply not true. And again, the proofs are many, but I just mentioned one of them. And as we mentioned, phobia results in a deep sense of dread. So if these three main reasons or ideas or misconceptions do exist in the Canadian society, that Islam will have a negative influence on the Canadian society, that Islam mistreats women, and that will be a regression to women in women's rights, and Islam holds values that incite violence. So these three misconceptions that are spread out there and probably held by a number of Canadians. We can't say the majority for sure, but a number of Canadians hold these understandings or these misconceptions. This is why we have anti-Muslim hate. And it could exist in a larger number of Canadians. Some of them will act upon them, and some of them will just distance themselves. So, but these are serious allegations, and we know they exist. And we can't blame people that hold these ideas, because there was a reason why these false ideas and misconceptions were spread. We know the work of the media over so many years, Hollywood, the news, we know how it's spread. So we need to be reasonable and know that people have been brainwashed, they have been misguided, they have been given false information. So we need to set our minds to know that this is how it started. Not because there's something personal between me and the anti-Muslim hater. It's nothing personal. They were brainwashed and they're fearing something. This is why they're doing what they're doing. Add to it that the concept of phobia, the understanding of phobia, that I'm fearing you, you are a source of evil to me. This justifies, I'm not saying justifies the attack, I'm just saying it helps us understand one dimension of this problem, that we need to be active in solving it. So there's a misconception that's driving, fueling anti-Muslim hate. We need to be aware of it, we need to be realistic and reasonable, and we need to focus on it, and we need to deal with it. This is what I'm saying about this point. And we also need to ask ourselves a question. Do we as Muslims intentionally or unintentionally help proving or confirming such false ideas? And this is where we need to be realistic about involving ourselves in the solution. We need to take responsibility and say, maybe we help make these ideas closer to reality by the actions of some Muslims that they don't understand their deen themselves. So they kind of confirmed some of these ideas. So we need to be careful. You're under watch. You are a minority. You are a black box to this society. People are watching you. People already have false ideas about you. We need to watch every move, because any mistake will just confirm the master idea. So we do have a big responsibility, and this is why I say Islamophobia or anti-Muslim hate is fueled by two factors. First of all, spreading rumors about Islam and Muslims. That was done by the media, unfortunately, and by by Hollywood, and our own actions that could confirm those rumors. This is a vicious cycle that could become very difficult to break. Islam is mispresented and misrepresented. So it's our duty to focus on this. Inshallah, in the next episode, we'll talk about how we deal with it. We need to represent Islam, present it and represent it in the best possible way, so we can refute those allegations and show people that they're all lies. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the strength to do this and to serve Islam and serve all humanity. Jazakumullah khair for watching. We will be together in the next episode, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.